Alright, yeah, welcome back to some more Magic Arena. We're finally back. It's been a rough month, for sure. I've mentioned this in a community post. It's the busiest time of the year for me. Halloween's kind of like the day for where I work, so there's been a lot of crunching. And then just as soon as I'd done all the crunch work to get ready for Halloween, I got a wonderful, horrible cough from my niece. And then my parents got COVID. And I don't have COVID, by the way. But, yeah, it's been hell. It's been hell, either way. So, that's been the reason why the videos have been few and far between. Same with the streams. I've been basically just coughing up a lung for the past week. Which is not ideal and does not really lead to good quality content, I would say. But I'm back now, unofficially, because I figured today's my birthday, and I'll be damned if I don't release a video on my birthday. Usually I would stream for a very long period of time, but I can't really talk for more than half an hour without coughing up a lung, so still not better. Still can't leave the house to celebrate my birthday, so this is going to be the way that I do it. So, let's go today, shall we? Today we're going to be playing some historic best of one, and we're going to be playing with a combo that probably shouldn't be in this deck, but it is anyway. We're going to be playing some Chatterstorm combo. What is Chatterstorm? Well, it's a card that ruined Pauper for a while, and a combo that ruined Pauper for a while in a certain extent. Chatterstorm is a 2-mana sorcery. Create a 1/1 squirrel creature token, and then Storm. So for each other spell you cast this turn, create a copy of Chatterstorm. So the more spells we cast, the more squirrel tokens we get. That's pretty cool and all, but how do we win? Well, we're trying to win on the same turn by first playing First Day of Class. 2-mana instant, whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control this turn, put a counter on it, and then it gains haste until the end of the turn, and then you get to learn. So, if you do that, these squirrels are now going to be 2/2s with haste, so we have to do a lot less storming to get to Chatterstorm lethal range, and we can win without having to worry about board wipes and things like that. So, yeah, I kind of wondered how you could go around storming enough in Historic in such a way where Grape Shot wouldn't just be better or something like that. And yeah, there's really no good place for Chatterstorm, I don't think, right now. In Pauper, it's got lots of rituals and things like that that make it really easy to go off. Not so much in Historic. So what I decided I would do is jam it into an Underworld Breach combo. Is it a better win con in Underworld Breach? Absolutely not. We have Jace, Wielder of Mysteries for that, which is a 4-mana legendary that says if you draw a card while your library has no cards in it, you win the game instead. This is definitely a better win condition, so if you wanted to just play the better version of this deck, you would absolutely go up the Jace, go up a Bergie, maybe even just go up a Fibblethip, honestly. Plenty of ways to try and find Underworld Breach is what you actually want to do. So let's talk about the real combo that we're not jamming into the other combo. Underworld Breach is an enchantment that says each non-land card in your graveyard has escape. The escape cost is equal to the card's mana cost, plus the exile 3 other cards from your graveyard. And at the beginning of our end step, sacrifice Underworld Breach. So when we play this, we have to win, which is not terribly difficult to do. So the idea is we can play anything from our graveyard as much as we want, but every time we do, we have to pay for it, and we have to exile 3 cards. So in order to keep this going and win the game, we have to be milling more than 3 cards, or more than 4 cards, really, ideally, and paying for the cards that we're going to be casting out of our graveyard. So what we're going to be doing is playing Diligent Excavator, which is a 2-mana 1/3 that says whenever you cast a historic spell, which is an artifact, legendary, or saga, target player mills 2 cards. So we got lots of artifacts in our deck. We got Mox Amber, we got Chromatic Sphere, and we got Mind Stone. All of these are historic spells, as well as Fibblethip, and Emery, and Bergie, and Jace. Those are our legendaries. All of those will trigger Diligent Excavator to mill 2 cards. So we want to get a couple of those in play. so we can keep the game going. So in order to actually pay for the cards off of our Underworld Breach, we're going to have to use Mox Amber. It's a 0 mana legendary artifact, so it triggers the Excavator, and adds 1 mana of any colour among legendary creatures or planeswalkers you control. So it can produce either blue or red. 9 times out of 10 it's just going to produce blue for us. But it's a free way of generating mana, because we can legend rule it when we play a second copy of Mox Amber, which puts the other into our graveyard, allowing us to cast that again. It'll explain itself when we actually play the game and go through the combo. We've got Chromatic Sphere as well. This is kind of crucial for our Chatterstorm game plan, because we do at some point during the game need to produce both red and green in order to play first day of class and then Chatterstorm, to win the game that way. So Chromatic Sphere is going to be our way of doing that. You can sacrifice it to add 1 mana of any colour and draw a card, so it replaces itself. It's a really good combo with Emery, Lurker of the Lock, which is a 3 mana 1/2 that gets cost reduction for each artifact you control. So eventually it'll get to 1 blue mana, and when it enters the battlefield you mill 4 cards, so it's a good mill source as well for Underworld Breach escaping. And you get the ability to choose an artifact card in your graveyard and cast it this turn. So we can cast Chromatic Spheres, sack the Chromatic Spheres, tap Emery, and then replay the Chromatic Sphere, for example. We got Mind Stones as well, just another little bit of a redraw, extra mana, extra triggers, things like that. On top of the Excavators as well, we do have a new Modern Horizons card, Dragon's Rage Channeler. Turns out it's actually a pretty good addition to this deck. It's 1 mana 1/1. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you get to surveil one, so that's like Scry, except for instead of putting it to the bottom, you put it in your graveyard, which is exactly where we want cards to be. This is a really good card to try and find Underworld Breach. Should mention as well that you'd want to try and avoid, if you can, milling yourself until you get Underworld Breach. This is the only card that needs to be in your hand at any time. Everything else can go into your graveyard, because Underworld Breach will help you cast it later. This is the one card you do not want to mill over, so if you have this, go mill crazy. If you don't, you want to kind of try and figure out a way to mill the least amount of cards and draw the most amount of cards in order to get to your Breach. And once you've got that, you can do whatever the hell you want. You always, once you've got the Breach going, you always use Dragon Rage Channeler to put the card into your graveyard, because it's more fuel for the fire that way. We've got Birgi, God of Storytelling. 3 mana 3/3. Whenever you cast this spell, add 1 red mana. You don't lose this as mana, and phases end until the end of your turn, and the rest is irrelevant. So this allows you to generate extra mana off of Mox Amber, because you pay this for 0, and then Birgi says you cast a spell, so you get 1 red mana. It also basically means the Chromatic Spheres are free, and to a certain extent, a roundabout fashion, the Emerys are also free. You pay the blue, but you get red back, kind of thing. So you're not really paying much there. Same for the Dragon's Red Channeler, actually. You pay the red, you get the red back. It's kind of nice. Generating the mana that way will help you cast a lot of stuff and not need the Mox Ambers as much. So it's pretty cool. It's kind of like an honorary Mox Amber in that fashion, but not quite. But yeah, 22 lands, all is it mana, because the only green card is Chatterstorm. We can cast it off Chromatic Sphere. Yeah, that's really all I think I need to say about this deck. I'm going to stop talking because I feel like I need to cough. As I mentioned as well, one last thing. First day of class does have a learn board, so we got some learning in here. The only things I ever really grab are Environmental Sciences, Teaching of the Archaics, and Start from Scratch. Start from Scratch can get rid of Grafdigger's Cages, which stop your combo from functioning. So if that happens, you do need to dig for first day of class so that you can get rid of the Grafdigger's Cage. From there, you can go off like crazy. Teachings is a divination if you have less cards than your opponent, which we like to empty our hand real quick, so there's a good chance this happens fairly frequently. And then Environmental Sciences allows you to get a basic land out of your deck and gain some life. The life gain could be relevant, the basic land could be relevant. We also have Introduction to Annihilation, so if it's not an artifact that's stopping us from going off, then the Introduction to Annihilation can get rid of anything else, though it is quite expensive for historic standards anyway, but it's there if it's the only answer. Might as well for those situations where it's actually relevant. But yeah, you could probably like go down one Sciences, you could probably go down the Prophecy, the Illuminate History. You don't need those cards really, and that gives you more slots for sideboards if you want to do best of 3. I don't imagine this deck's pretty good at best of 3 though, because your opponent's just bringing Graveyard Hate and then you cry. But maybe you could do a transformational sideboard or something like that. I don't know. Either way though, that's going to do it for the deck tech portion. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed today's video, and if you do, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more content like this in the future. I'm hoping to be back on my normal schedule now. But sorry. Yeah, hopefully. But I'm not quite up to it yet. We'll see. We'll see. Either way, wanted to get a video out for you guys, so hopefully you enjoy it. And let's get to the gameplay. This video is brought to you by the generous support of our wonderful patrons and channel members that you see here. If you'd like to support the channel and get access to cool content like sneak peeks, bonus videos, polls on future content, or access to a personal deck critique from myself every month, then hit the join button down below, or check out the Patreon link in the description. With all that said, let's get into the gameplay. Alright, opponent goes first. We have an Excavator hand, but we have no Breach. His hand's otherwise, like, not terrible if it had a Breach. You've got a Mull. You've got to at least take one chance at it. This has got Dragon's Rage into Mindstone, so we get a Surveil. This one's much better. Put a First Day of Class back. That's not bad. Alright, so we get to go Channeler. In case they have a portable hull, we get our free Surveil. Chromatic Sphere is just another Surveil. We're going to keep that card. It's a redraw later down the line as well. So I could do, let's see. I could do Mindstone. I think Fibblethip Chromatic Sphere is my line. There's a Breach. Okay. We're on the right track. So everything now goes into the graveyard with Channeler, because we can cast it from the graveyard whenever we need to. Opponent's on some form of Angels list. Mono-white, maybe? Probably not. Green-white? Yeah. Coco Angels. Need to gain 5 for the Resplendent Angel to do its thing. 1 point of damage. Coming right up. Alright. This might not be a matchup where we get to Chatterstorm, unfortunately. First Day of Class. Yeah, we're just going to graveyard everything, I think. Let's go red. Sack a Mindstone. A Fibblethip, okay. I do want to build up my timers as well. We're on an X1 right now. It's usually what you get when you go off most of the time. X2 would be ideal, but the game doesn't really give you that. Coco for a single Youthful Valkyrie, lovely. Right, so we're gonna Underworld, Fibblethip. Keeping the one without Summoning Sickness to get a Dragon's Rage Channeler ready to attack. There's a Mox Amber. So we've got that going. We can cycle Mox Ambers. We have no good way of milling ourselves, though, which is why I'm not going to be going for it just yet. Let's go Sulphur Falls, play First Day of Class. And there's an Excavator. Alright. We'll just cast Excavator next turn. Gonna get a Teachings of the Archaics. It's usually the only one I ever get. And have to attack with the Channeler. So might be time to go off next turn. Might not have a choice in the matter as well. Because like, I will be running... I want to keep Fibblethip for Mox Amber mana, rather than Graveyard Fodder. So, let's see. Excavator. Steam Vent's untapped because we're going for it. Underworld, Breach, Excavator, into the graveyard. Alright, let's see. I need... Got 8 cards in there, so 1, 2, 3. I put a first day class on the bottom, didn't I? Yeah, so I can't get rid of that, so it'd be 1, 2, 3. Oh god. Oh god. Right, 1, 2, 3. Get the excavator in play. Mox Amber. Yeah, that's a problem. Alright, we're going for the mill plan then. Because the last card in our deck's first day of class, so we're going to have to just Jace them to death. So, mill. Just mill ourselves the entire way down. Chatterstorm, sorry, but you are not relevant anymore. Keep the new one. Cast the old one. Literally just working against the clock now for the traditional breach win. Boop. Jace, wielder of mysteries, where art thou? Oops. Ah! Working against the clock here, it's very annoying when when you mess up. Ah! Diligent Excavator, they're all going in the trash. Although, I will play one, because it'll get me to Jace quicker. And I'll play the other one as well. I think. Yes. No. Gotta fill the graveyard up. Put 7 in the yard. As long as you are milling more than you are exiling, you're all good most of the time. Some Emrys. We're at 19 cards. I did not float mana because I am so stupid. We're going to Emry. Boop, boop, boop. 19 cards. Mill. So I need to just get to 4 mana now. There's Jace. Okay. So 9 cards remaining in my deck. We've already cast our thing. Don't need to do any more milling. Well, I am gonna mill anyway, but... because I do need to get down to 0 cards so that Jace can draw and win me the game. Boop. I just can't use Chromatic Spheres, I have to remember that. Could game our opponent. That one, that one, that one. 2 cards, so mill there, mill here, mill here. There's all my cards. Keep this one. Almost there, this is the last time I have to do it. Boop, boop, boop. Make sure I do not exile the Jace. Otherwise I cannot win. Mill you, mill you. Oh, I hate the emote thing that pops up all the time. Makes me panic. There we are. And... Jace, wielder of mysteries. On the stack, ready to win. Mill you, mill you, mill you. Mill me. Win the game. Okay. Sweet. Yeah, it's a shame that we had to get rid of our first day of classes there. I think 29 life. Could have done it. We could have Chatterstormed our opponent there, I think. What was our storm count? 13. So with first day of class, that's 26 already, so I just have to cast Chatterstorm twice. So, yeah, could be done. Could be done. Either way, on to the next one. Alrighty, we're in, and I think this is a mulligan. There's no Underworld Breach. These two are not exactly a card you'd really want. There's no Emery here, there's no Excavators, there's no Channelers. Right, well now we got an Emery. So we're going to keep this one. Get rid of a land, we'll draw plenty more. And then we're up against mono red. Alright, so everything dies and we don't have enough time to do anything. Good to know. Right. So, Spire Bluff Canal, Chromatic Sphere. That sets up turn 2 Emery. It's always a little bit awkward once you get the milling going and you haven't already drawn a breach. Because then you end up seeing a lot of breaches. Fly into the graveyard, and there's not much you can do when they get there. Which is why it's kind of important to start searching for them a little bit more. Blazing Root Waller. Yeah, I think we'll just get outpaced by this deck easily. Going to attack me? I feel like that would be a good idea. Give it a minute, though. There we go. Just had to figure out whether or not it was a smart plan to attack in, because they could die on the backswing, you know. Certainly a thing that could happen, right? Let's just go Mountain Fibblethip, so we can block the Root Waller or get a burn spell out of our opponent's hand. Either way, to slow them down, that seems like a good plan. Longer I can go without milling myself is probably better, so that I don't mill Breach. Because I know myself too well. Swings in. I'm going to block. Just more graveyard fodder for me. Painful mana base for them over there. What the hell does this thing do? It's neither night nor day. It becomes night or day. Discard up to 2 cards to draw that many cards. That's pretty cute. Okay. Mindstone. Emery. Oh, there goes Breach. Didn't see that coming. Alright, let's go Emery here. Interestingly, you can declare your card before sacking your Chromatic Sphere, which means that Emery gets that cost reduction before you sack it. It's a little bit of a weird rules thing. Yeah, I didn't see that coming. Alright, take 4. Could still win if we get a Breach, I think. We haven't got any Mox Ambers in our graveyard, but several Emerys is definitely a good way to mill, nonetheless. And Spire Bluff. So let's go Mind Stone. Crack a Mind Stone. Hold the Mox Amber. In case we get Dragon's Rage Channeler, it's basically a free Surveil. Yeah, I feel like this is going to be a game where we do nothing. You really do kind of flail around if you don't find your Breach, which has not really been an issue for me every time I've played it. Every time I've lost, it's usually just been like out aggroed or Thoughtseize to death, something like that. Something that a combo deck would struggle with normally anyway. Or timing out. Or drawing too many cards. Those it turns out there's actually quite a fair few ways to lose. Okay. Sacks a Courier, get some more cards in hand. 2 mana remaining. Another Astronomer. Gets a Phoenix. We get a Burgy. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I mean, we're dead. Pretty sure that means we're just dead. Because I could play the Harnfell. And I can start, like, discarding cards to see what we draw, but I don't think there's a single thing we can draw that's relevant. Because I can't get enough mana for Breach. So it's kind of like a let's just see what we would have drawn kind of scenario. And those wouldn't have done it. Yeah, none of these cards would have done it. Alright, cool. Destined to lose. On to the next one. Alrighty, we're in on the play. We've got a Chatterstorm in our hand, so this is basically a 6-card hand. It's got double Chromatic Sphere and an Emery with some Excavators, so it's got all the mill, but none of the Underworld Breach. That's unfortunate. Is it keepable? The spheres help me get red mana, and I can use them to draw with an Emery, so I think I'm going to take the chance here. I think I should be okay. It's a turn 2 Emery, and as long as it doesn't hit an Underworld Breach, then these should get me to that point where I can draw and replay enough to find them quick enough. Bag of Holding, alright. Our opponent's playing Bag of Holding, so I have pretty high hopes for winning this game. Alright. No breach, no breach, no breach. Good, no breach. Alright. Dragon's Rage Channeler, some Excavators, some Emerys, some Moxambers. Everything's in our graveyard that we want. Now I just have to find Underworld Breach. And have my Emery live for a little while. That's honestly quite important as well. I have a spare Emery here, so if they do remove this, it's awkward, but I can still go off with an Underworld Breach down the line by replaying one out of my graveyard. It's not actually essential to my game plan anyway. It's more here for the mill for and the replay of spheres most of the time. That feels like a Doomscar to me, honestly. Let's crack this one for blue. Let's crack this one for red. Let's replay one. And stick this on red. Could play Chatterstorm. Should I play Chatterstorm? Hard to say. I think I'll just go with an Excavator for now. Set up the board state for when we draw an Underworld Breach. Doomscar. Yep. As we mentioned, it's an annoyance, but doesn't really affect us all too much. We can go Emery again. No breach, no breach, no breach, no breach, no breach, no breach, no breach. Fantastic. Play this for red. Get a Jace. Not a card I really want to draw, but I guess I can play it. Mill our opponent and draw an extra card per turn. Khan, Scion of Urza. Have a planes. Enjoy. That's all Khan's stick-up ever seems to do anyway. Ooh, a Burgie. Play Burgie. Shocking Steam Vents, because my life total doesn't seem all that relevant. Play a Moxamber, generating mana from Burgie, which gives me mana for Jace. And potentially 1 mana for Dragon's Rage Channeler or Moxamber. There's Underworld Breach. Alright, so we are set up to win the game next turn. Opponent can do just about whatever they want here. And it shouldn't really matter. My first day of classes give me Sideboard access, which means I can get, like, Introduction to Annihilation if I do feel like the Jace is a legitimate win con. Our opponent's just blown up the world, by the way, with a Fumigate. Not too much of a care about that. Have a land. Right, so Let's see, shall we? We are going to play Underworld Breach. We're going for it. We are then going to Excavator, I think, as many times as we can. Getting rid of land, Channeler Fibblethip. Excavator. Bergy, Sphere, Channeler. Play Chromatic Sphere, I want to say. Actually, let's mill ourselves first. We don't need that draw necessarily on Jace. That's what we're looking for. So, play this. Mill 4. Keep this one. Play Excavator. Mill you. So now I'm looking for a first day of class. 29 cards remaining. You. Gonna mill 6. A little breach, another mox. There's a first day of class. Alright, so we get to keep this. We get to go mox amber again. This one. Mill 6. Keep this one. Play Chromatic Sphere. Mill. Oh, exile. Is this the most efficient way to win the game? Absolutely not. It's the way we're gonna do it, though. Alright. Chromatic Sphere. Play Mox Amber. Exile. 11 cards remaining. Fuel for the fire. Can I even actually get to a point where I can Chatterstorm my opponent? I think I might have over-milled myself, honestly. We play first day of class. Get rid. This is 9. Whatever, teachings. Go Mox Amber. This one. Mill. This allows me to Chatterstorm our opponent. I have to mill my opponent for everything now. Because otherwise I will not have enough cards to draw without winning. Oh no. Full control. Mill. I want to float my mana. But it's not. Ah, there we go. Alright. Almost forgot. There's an Ugin in here. Suddenly I don't feel bad anymore. Chromatic Sphere. This one. Yeah. Mill. Could we have won already? Absolutely, but where's the fun in that? There's my Chromatic Sphere. Here's my last Mox Amber. Boop. 2 cards remaining. Mill. I'm actually going to full control so that I can turn this into green. There we go. So now, as a worst case scenario, if I've done bad math, which I haven't, because here comes Chatterstorm. If I had done bad math, then I could finish myself with a mill. Alright. Here we go. It's a squirrel attack. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Get in there, my Chatterstorm buddies. No, come back, I was winning. Oh. Fine. Whatever. But yeah, you can see why there's no actual reason for Chatterstorm to be in this deck. I just wanted to Chatterstorm. This seemed like the best way to do it. Maybe it isn't. Probably isn't. But it certainly gets the job done. So, on to the next one. Alrighty then, we play first. We've got a Channeler into Mindstone, I guess, for a Surveil. I mean, I'll always take turn one Channeler, I think. I'm just not sure what I'm doing with this hand. I think if I went with Mindstone, it opens up the Burgie, and that really helps out quite a fair bit. So let's go Channeler. Getting artifacts into play as well is good for future Emrys. And every non-creature I can play gets me closer to Underworld Breach, which definitely has its advantages. Our opponent is on Blossoming Sands, so they have to be a green-white life gain deck. It doesn't make sense to me otherwise. Right, well, here we can only play Burgie. I mean, we can play the other stuff, but I can't play Burgie into anything or anything. Rude. Ah, nice. Okay, now we're just looking for some Moxen. I'm going to play Fibblethip. So that will hit the most cards. And there's a Mox. Alright, so I'm just going to Mox. Mill again. Double Mox. Alright. So now I need a means of milling more than I currently am, and Emry's a good way to do that. There's a Chatterstorm in my yard. I'm gonna play the Mind Stone, and I think I'll pass there. I mean, these Wraths really just don't do anything. We're not really a I care about Wrath of God deck kind of list. I'm keeping the Mind Stones for now. Question is, am I going off? I think I'm going off. Underworld Breach. Excavator, please. Land, land, land. We are then going to play Burgie, I think. Don't get to do that very often. Spire Bluff. Stone, Fibblethip. It's historic cards, so it means I can mill two. We're going to Emry the Mox Amber. So I get a free mill without exile, and I gain some extra mana there as well. There's a Jace. Is this going to be a Jace scenario? I don't know. I don't know. We're going to play Excavator for now, though, because I do need a little bit more help with the mill. Get rid of these. I really want to get that first day of class going, though. But I think it's going to have to go here. First day... Oh, actually, we're going to have to go for the Jace plan, right? Because if my last card is... first day of class, then I'm done for. Although, at the same time, I'm thinking, screw it, kind of thing. Let's just do it. Yeah, let's leave Chatterstorm. This is a horrible idea, by the way. I am potentially just losing a rank on purpose for the sake of memes, but I am here to meme. Keep that one, get some blue going. I do need to fill my graveyard a bit, so we're going to go boop, boop, boop. generating mana as we go, which is nice. Chromatic Sphere, there's a Fibblethip, gonna keep that one. We're gonna play 7 cards. I'm just gonna have to keep going with the Mox Embers, I think. Bergie, Channeler, Sphere. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, chat. Uh-oh. Do need a Sphere to make green mana eventually, but I also first need the first day of class, so... Uh-oh. Yeah! That one, that one, that one. Next Chromatic Sphere we see, we're going to make it produce green mana. It's not going to matter, though, until we get that first day of class. There's a Chromatic Sphere. Our opponent's going to concede. Thank you, opponent. Honestly, you could have won if you waited. I imagine I time out before I win the game. But I'll take it. I'll certainly take it. Living on the edge, getting rid of our Jace there. Yeah. That's going to do it for today's video, though. I'm going to keep it relatively short just for the sake of my esophagus, and my ability to not cough right now is waning. So, yeah. This deck's fun. It's Underworld Breach, as you might expect it, with a, like, strictly worst win con. I would recommend, though, if you do want to play this competitively, you get rid of the first day of classes, you can get rid of the Chatterstorms, and you lean more into the self-mill style, because there's really no reason not to. You're already doing it anyway, so you might as well just win with Jace. So you can get rid of 3 first day of classes, 1 Chatterstorm, add a Jace, another Bergie, and 2 mill cards, I would imagine. Maybe some Merfolk. What's the 1-mana Merfolk? I can't even remember. It's a 0/4 anyway that has a mill as its adventure thing. I would probably add those, and then you've got yourself a pretty good deck. It's doing pretty good against what I've been going up against, as far as, like, if I went for the mill win con, I would get there quite nicely. So yeah, I'd certainly recommend not doing this and doing the traditional thing, but where's the fun in that? Hopefully you guys have enjoyed today's video, and thank you very much for being patient with me while I am very ill. I greatly appreciate it, and yeah, any well wishes in the comments, I really appreciate you. So yeah, take care and have a wonderful rest of your day.